Hello, my name is Simon Bridge and this is the second in a series of short videos about what I'm calling the DNA of Shakespeare, which is Iambic Pentameter. And in the last video, the first video, I talked about what Iambic Pentameter is and the rhythm, ti-tum, 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 and how the playwrights in Shakespeare's time used Iambic Pentameter as the rhythm for the verse in their plays because it resembles the rhythms of English speech. There's a line of Iambic Pentameter for you. Resembles the rhythms of English speech. But Shakespeare liked to mess around with the rhythm because he knew that people didn't speak in Iambic Pentameter all the time. At different times in their lives, when they're under stress, when they're anxious, when they're angry, when they're sad, when they're ecstatic, people change the way they speak. And these are the emotions that change people's lives. And they're what drama is all about. And Shakespeare liked to recreate the rhythms of people's speak, the way people spoke in his plays. So when does he do it? Well, all the time, particularly in later plays. We're going to take a look at Hamlet. This is a battered old copy of Hamlet, and we're going to take a look at, get yourself a copy by the way, or get it online. We're going to take a look at perhaps the most famous speech in Shakespeare, To Be or Not to Be, which is Act 3, Scene 1. And how does it begin? Well, you know, to be or not to be, that is the question. But wait a minute, this is an irregular line. It's not the 10 beats we were talking about, there's an extra beat in there. So why does this speech start with an irregular line? Well, let's think about those emotions we were talking about, the lifeblood of drama. What's been happening to Hamlet? Well, he's a university student. He comes home from university because his dad has died unexpectedly, and when he gets home he discovers that his mum has married his dad's brother Claudius already, and Claudius is the new king, and this feels like his mum has betrayed the memory of his father, the old king, for Hamlet, and then he meets the ghost of his dad on the battlements of the castle, and the ghost says, hey, I wasn't poisoned by a snake like everybody's telling you, I was murdered by your uncle, by the new king, and you've got to take revenge for me. Now Hamlet doesn't know who to trust. He's pretty certain he's being spied on, and maybe his own girlfriend is unknowingly involved in this spying. Well, he's in a terrible state. And in this speech, to be or not to be, he's contemplating suicide. To be or not to be, that is the question. But it's a question. It's not a decision. If it ended on a strong 10th beat, it would be to be or not to be. That is the quest. But it's not. There's the 11th beat in there, an unstressed beat. To be or not to be, that is the question. And that 11th beat, which academics call a weak ending or a feminine ending, sorry, I didn't make that up, it reflects the weakness of Hamlet at that moment and his indecisiveness. To be or not to be, that is the question. Now, I called Iambic Pentameter the DNA of Shakespeare, and as I understand it, I'm no scientist, but DNA is like a recipe book that contains all the information that you need to create a human being, or a dormouse, or a plum tree, or whatever. And Iambic Pentameter is packed full of information that every actor needs in order to create his Hamlet, or her Hamlet, or Lady Macbeth, or Romeo, or any of the other characters that speak in Shakespeare's verse. Now, in the next video, we're going to take a look a bit further down this speech, To Be or Not to Be, there's a little gem of information, a bit of this DNA, which is so simple but brilliant. We're going to take a look at that.